Thanks for joining me today, Tsahi. Would you like to play a game?
Okay, let's see what goes on this time.
All right, it's November 2025 as we're recording this, which means it's a good time to start thinking about predictions for 2026. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions and put you on the spot for a rapid answer to each question. You've got 90 seconds or less to answer each one. All right, first one, WebRTC versus Mock. Which one will developers be complaining about more in 2026?
WebRTC.
Why?
What you have in mock today is their early adapters. All of the enthusiastic people, they would love it. They would die for it. And then you'll have people like Sergio that says something, well, you know what? It doesn't really work. It doesn't take the right trajectory, but that's about it. All the rest are just in love. I don't think that will change.
Okay, fair enough. So as more people adopt it, people will complain a little bit more when there's a dilution of the enthusiasts is your
Yes, I think
prediction there.
there's also the nuance of where this is going to be production ready.
Mhm.
So as long as it isn't exactly and the standard isn't closed and they're going to make changes to it, why complain? It's fine.
Right. Perfect. All right, good. All right, we're doing great on timing here. Will AV1 become the dominant video codec in 2026?
No.
When will it? Or will it?
If it will, probably 2028.
Okay. A few
That
years
would
away.
be my... Yes. Now, the reason I'm saying that, you see AV1, it's being used. People love it. Takes too much CPU today, so you can't use it in a lot of the use cases. You use it only when you can. And you still see a lot of people using VP8, which is great because it just works. Now, 2 years from now, guess what? The VP8 will still just work. So if I need to put an effort to switch to AV1, that's an effort that I don't want to put. So all of the old stuff would still use VP8 or H.264. VP9 you see here and there. It didn't really catch up in all services. And I think that would be the eventuality of AV1, at least in the next year or two.
So next question, edge computing for WebRTC. Hype
What
or
does that
happening?
mean? What does that mean?
Good question. So I'm going to say it as WebRTC running on the edge, for example, like in IoT devices. Sometimes talk about security use cases, wearable devices, drones, AR-enabled factory workers, remote equipment monitoring, those types of things.
I think it will be more of the same. It will grow slowly, nothing really interesting or exciting there, more than what we've had so far. It's out of necessity. I mean, most surveillance cameras today still do H.264 and RTSP. Why? Because it just works. And if you want to connect it to WebRTC, you put the headache on your service side. And you see people doing that, and then the question is, why should I invest in put it in the camera? So I think you'll see it only in new devices and only in very specific and niche use cases. Drones make more sense than surveillance cameras, for example.
Okay. So happening, but in limited use cases, which is more or less the scenario now. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Little open-ended here. I'd like to hear you name a dark horse technology that will disrupt WebRTC in an unexpected way.
In 2026?
You could go a little further than that if you need to.
There can only be one, and that would be mock.
Okay.
That would be, let's call it the development of what was web codecs, web transport, and WebAssembly. Putting these three together with a bit of mock instead of web transport gives you a great enabler to do things that you can't really do with WebRTC, or the ability to differentiate in ways that you can't with WebRTC.
Yeah.
It will be used by either crazy startups, okay, or by vendors that are very competitive. So you might see either Google with Google Meet or Zoom or maybe Microsoft Teams, not sure, but maybe. And then it might be also Cisco with WebEx that would decide to go and take that route. Will that work? That's a big question. This is the path that Zoom started with and left in the end of 2024. So would they go back to it a year or two from now? I'm not sure.
Last question. What's one popular WebRTC practice, currently popular, which we will soon consider a bad practice and anti-pattern? What should we be getting away from, basically?
I think there are two of them. I just did a new video series, and it falls right in there, where I say things like, well, simulcast is great, but don't use simulcast.
Okay.
So the best practice is to use simulcast in group calling, and then you figure out things like, well, you know what? Most of my calls are still one-on-one in group calls. And when there are only two people in a call, like what we're doing now, and that's a group session, using simulcast is not good for your health. It's the opposite. So there are places where you need to, let's say, refine that best practice to tell you that, well, you should use simulcast, but not in all cases. That's one. And the other one would be SVC, scalable video coding. That has been the holy grail for about 10 years now, especially since VP9 came out to our lives. It's still not there. Will it be there with AV1? Probably not. So is that the best practice that we never had and did? And at some point we'll say, you know what, it's not worth it?
Yeah.
Or will it stay there? That's another unknown. I would say that we also might see the rush towards the next best video codec die out. Same as we don't talk about 4K almost.
Right.
We talk about HD video and we do VGA.
Perfect.
So what is the purpose of going 4K? It's not going to add anything to the quality of this call. In my videos, for example, when I do them in portrait mode, I always think to myself, well, should I do it in 1080p or 780p or 720p? Because do I want to fill out my hard drive with another 1 gigabyte of data for 5 minutes, or is 200, 300 megabytes is enough? And that's a question that I'm not sure that I know how to answer, and that's not for a live session, for something that is recorded and should be in high fidelity, high quality. You also see YouTube just came out with the ability to do a higher, how do you call it? They upscale videos.
Okay.
So if you recorded something in like VGA, they would still play it back as HD to the user by upscaling it using AI. Hyper resolution, I think it's called. So that being the case, do I even care now about recording things in HD video? Is it worth my time and effort to do that? Should I just reduce bitrates and resolutions instead? Do I need to put the effort in a better video compression technology or better AI technology on the receiving end? It's like, I don't even know what the best practice is going to look like a year or two from now with these things.
Yeah. Good point. What's better, to have the higher resolution stored on your disk or to let AI do the higher processing to upscale it for you? TBD. All right. Well, as always, thanks for sharing your insights with us today, Tsahi. Thanks for sharing the rapid fire predictions for us on the spot for 2026. We'll see how you do next year. So for those of you watching, to learn more about Tsahi's work, you can check him out at bloggeek.me. And to learn more about future episodes of WebRTC Live, check us out at WebRTC.Ventures. Thanks, Tsahi.
Thank you, Arin.
Thanks for joining us for WebRTC Live. Visit our website at WebRTC.Ventures to learn more about our custom design and development services, and to learn more about upcoming episodes of WebRTC Live.